Hey guys, and welcome to Understeer 411. Now this is a sort of a special episode, and I eventually want to start doing more video anyway, but instead of just talking about racing and theory today, we're going to ride on board for one of the races that I did this week in the Toyota GR86 Cup race at the Nordschleife. Now, it's a 19-car field, 3 laps, no pit stops, and I started in number 3. I don't want to give away the finish, but I had a really good race today. Or actually, it wasn't today. It was a couple of days ago. But anyway, the real point of this episode, though, is to show some of the decisions and things that happened in the race that I talk about a lot, especially when you're talking about racecraft. Kind of a when to fight, when to let people go thing, and when to stay out of trouble. Now, I'm not saying I always stay out of trouble, because trouble happens in racing and on, anytime you're iRacing, on sim racing, there's going to be other people that make decisions. You will occasionally, or I occasionally, make horrible decisions. And I've caused my share of wrecks, so I'm not sitting here telling you guys, oh, this is how you do it, because, look, I've made a ton of mistakes, and I still make mistakes all the time. I can't remember if it was this race or not, but at one point I did miss a turn and wind up off the track a little ways. But for the most part, this was a clean race, and I really enjoyed it. So right now we're warming up. So if you notice, everybody's in single file. Now, they don't normally start single file in these races, but these guys did here. They started single file on the Nordschleife because it's such a crazy race. It's just a little easier start. Everybody, every race that I did this week on the Nordschleife, they started as they started just like this with a single file start. So, which was kind of cool, because you don't have two cars trying to go around each other right into turn one. Which, but if you look in the back behind me, they didn't exactly do that, and there was a wreck before they even got to the start-finish line. So early on, you'll see me braking a touch earlier than I could and leave a little extra margin on the exits. And I tend to be very picky about where I go side by side. Around the Nordschleife, there are places where you think it's a good place to pass, but it's really not. So there's really only a handful of places, except in a straightaway, that I really, really want to try to pass. But what I've seen most people do, they wait until you're on the long straightaway coming back towards the start-finish line. If you can keep up with them up to that point, if you're behind someone or a couple of cars, you're going to have a slipstream or a draft, whatever you want to call it, and it gives you enough that you can actually make that pass. So I don't, in the cars that are closer to the front, you don't generally see a ton of passing on the track unless somebody makes a mistake. So as you can see, I let out of it there. That guy was really pushing me, so I kind of let out of it because I want to make it through this first lap without any real incidents. Now, I kind of let out of it probably a little bit too much, because I kind of let these guys get away from me. However, the top 2 were so much faster than me. I mean, they were seconds faster. My fastest lap on this race was 8 minutes flat. And these guys, I think the guy that won the race, his best time was 7:57. So he was putting down a lap that was a solid 3 seconds faster than me. So I really never had a chance at keeping up with him. And that's really how I look at these races. There's generally 1 or 2 guys at least that are just hands down faster than everyone else. So especially on nights where there may not be the top split. This split was around 25 or 2600. So the guy at the front, he could be a 4 or 5K driver, which would make him a lot faster than me. So I don't even really worry about trying to catch him. So, and I've got the driving line on right now, but I can turn it off. I don't really need it on here, so let's turn it off, because it's really unnecessary. It wasn't on during the race, so we'll go with that. thing I did notice about me in these races this week is I have, for some reason, I was a lot faster. Like, I did my fastest lap ever on the Nordschleife, which was an 8-minute flat lap in the GR86 Cup car. I don't know what was different or why it felt so much better for me this week, but it was really a breath of fresh air, to be honest, because I normally struggle. I really didn't think my qualifying time would get me a top 5, but in both races I started in the top 5. I think I was 3rd and 4th. In the other race I was 4th. But see, you can see these two guys are kind of riding side by side, and it's actually giving me the chance to catch back up with them, because if they were in a slipstream right there, all three of those cars would be pulling away from me right now. But as you can see, they weren't, so they gave me an opportunity to kind of stay with them. And I've never decided coming up this hill whether I should be in 3rd or 4th, so still not sure about that one. So this race is only 3 laps long, so you really don't have a lot of time. I mean, it's an 8-minute lap, so it takes it's 8, 16, 24-minute race-ish. So it's a longish race, but it's still, you have to go if you want to stay in the front. This is probably the most technical part of the track down through here, so the fact that I was even able to keep up with these guys, I was just super shocked that I was even this close to them at this point. But you can see the number 1, the car in the lead, he's just checked out from everyone. And there again, I'm not super confident through this part of the track, so I'm not going to battle with someone who's really pushing me. I'd rather just let them go and then hopefully try to get the lap back, or get the position back when they make a mistake, or on the straightaway. It's really easy to make a mistake through this section of this track, though. But it's basically a racecraft thing. The biggest lesson in this race is that not every lap is an invitation to fight. Not every car that gets in front of you or that wants to pass is an invitation to battle. Because right through here, I am faster than these guys, but there's really nowhere safe to pass. I mean, it would be dumb for me to try to get in front of these guys. And then I kind of slowed up there. And that's something I don't understand. On this right here, during this race, sometimes you'll see these guys, which the car in front, he was trying to break the draft, which makes no sense to me. It's more of a let's get in line and go, because if you do break the draft, they're going to the cars that are behind me are going to try to catch up. Right here, these guys here, this is a big deal right here. So this was a 3-car train. Now here's a key moment everyone came for, really, down the long straight before the Tier Garden, which was right there. These 3 cars were drafting behind me, and they were really racy, and so they were weaving around a bit, and I was thinking right there that there was going to be something happen. So they had the pace, at least for one of them to pass me. So instead of just letting the one go and then me being in the middle of this mess, I let all 3 cars go. I actually touched my brakes so they would go around me for sure. And from a racecraft standpoint, this is where I want to be. I don't want to be in the middle of it. So instead of defending the position like it was the last lap of the race, because it's not, I let them go, and just to give myself a clear view of what they're going to do, because I was really concerned that they were going to make some stupid mistakes. And what happens next is exactly what I expected. So through Cottonborn into Schwedenkreuz, 2 of them tripped over each other, and then the other one ended up in the outside wall. You'll see here in just a second what happens. So we come up over this hill here, and these guys, it's actually kind of funny. See how they split out, and then this guy gets into him, and this dude over here on the right, I don't really know what he was doing. I think he just missed his braking point and went over the curb, and that was the end of that. But that is exactly what I talk about when I talk about racecraft and making good decisions. So when I saw those guys behind me, I was really concerned with the way they were driving, because they were really racy on that back straightaway coming into the Tiergarten, and so I was really concerned that they were going to be stupid, and well, I was not disappointed, as you can see. But that right there is exactly what Live to Fight Another Lap actually looks like. It's not about driving scared. It's about reading the body language of the cars around you. If the pack behind you is sliding, weaving, sending half gaps, you can almost feel the crash coming a few corners ahead. So to me, good racecraft is noticing that and deciding on purpose to step out of the blast range. And around the Nordschleife especially, the difference between finishing in the top 5 and not finishing at all is often just one early lift or one decision not to send it. One moment you choose the long race over the highlight reel. But the bigger point and why this replay works for this podcast episode is that it isn't about being the quickest person on the server. It's about stacking 100 small boring decisions in your favor, letting the crazy train go by, braking a touch earlier when the field is bunched up, and giving an extra car width, and that shows, and none of that shows up on a hot lap or a leaderboard. So right there, I kind of made a mistake right there and wound up on that curb, but it didn't hurt me too bad. But these guys are kind of starting to check out on me after I let those cars go, and then I slowed up a little bit too much. So these guys kind of checked out on me. Came out of there a little bit fast, or a little bit high. So I do felt like I started catching these guys a little bit through here, because I was way faster than I normally am through here. But I feel like I learned something on the practice laps before this race this week. So, but I'm still not a superstar on this track. I still struggle with it. Although, you know, the fact that I had an 8-minute lap, I was super shocked. But again, these guys are hooked up, and when they get to the straightaway up here at Tiergarten, I have no chance to catch them. In fact, they pull away even further once we get there. At least I think. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I'm pretty certain I didn't actually catch these guys. I made a mistake right there. But, I mean, that's part of the thing here. You can make a small error, miss a braking point, or by a meter or two and run a little wide and lose momentum. The easy mistake after doing something like that is to panic and rush back onto the racing line and then look in your mirrors and have a stack of cars behind you. So because that happens a lot. The best thing to do is to try to stay as predictable as possible, I think. Keep the car under control and rejoin smoothly if you make a mistake. And just accept when you make a mistake or something, if there's cars behind you, accept the fact that you're going to lose a position or two. A lot of times what I see is a driver will make a mistake and then get in a hurry, they'll spin or something like that and get in a hurry to get back onto the track because of the positions they're going to lose. And the truth is you're going to lose positions, and especially if you go off the track and there's cars around you, you're going to lose positions. And you know, the safe thing to do though is to take your time getting back on, and don't try to jump back too quickly, because what'll happen, and what generally happens, is you come back on the track too soon and somebody destroys you, and then your race is over. Again, the whole thing that I talk about is making good decisions. And I will continue to say this, no matter what I say, I'm learning, guys, just like everyone else here. That's what it's all about, to have fun and learn. Kind of went through there a little bit hot. I got up on that curb, and that can really upset the car getting on these curbs. Some of them anyway. Some of them you can hit and it's no big deal, but others not so much. A little wide. See, I'm making a few mistakes here and there. I was trying to push a little bit to possibly catch these guys, but again, like I said, they were pretty well hooked up together, and it's really hard to catch two cars like that when they're running close, because they're able to do the draft, and well, but I was still a little bit faster than these guys, I think, through the turns, because I would gain on them a little bit when we would get into a curvy section, and then they would pull away from me through a section like this where they're able to hook up in the draft or the slipstream, whichever you want to call it. This section coming up is probably where I've made the most improvement, because when you come down this hill right here and then you make this this right-hander right here and into the next couple of right-handers, the car feels like it's going to go off the track all the way around through there, and you just have to trust it and really stay on the gas. Through here's another section where I've started picking up time, because I have always shifted down to second right there, and it's actually not necessary to shift it to second going around that turn and then coming back up through here. You can do almost, I think, the whole thing in third, but I was uncomfortable doing it in third for a long time because I thought I was going to crash. And then third through here, which is new as well. Although, I think you could probably do that in second as well. Now here, I thought I was almost close enough to get back in the slipstream with them, but they still, I never really got close enough. But I thought at the time, well, maybe I could, but the whole time I was actually hoping they were going to be, I was hoping they would race each other a little bit harder than they actually did. And there I was trying to decide whether to be in fourth or third. Then I went back to third. See, I was really hoping these two would start racing each other, because I would have liked to have gotten that position, or either one of those positions, to be honest. This can be a tricky turn. If you get on the gas too soon, you wind up at the top of that turn, and it slows you down a lot if you get out of that groove. I'm definitely faster through this portion of the track against the green car anyway. Yeah, it was not this race. It was there was another race where I actually got off the track right there. But it wasn't this race, it was the other. But I stayed calm and didn't completely wreck, and got back on the track and still finished in a position that actually didn't lose that position either. So now you can see through here, I started overdriving the car just a little bit. I get a little bit high right here, and I'm trying just a little too hard to catch up with these two, and I actually lost time right there. You can see he starts pulling away from me through there. Here's another place where I gained more time in this race. Instead of shifting too far down, I've always had a bad habit on this track with this car in particular, shifting down too low, because it feels uncomfortable in so many different ways, to be honest. Through here is another place that I've done it, and I made a mistake there too, because I was so close to possibly catching up with these guys, and then I made another mistake and just never really get another shot at it here. This is coming up on the last straightaway. Yeah, but coming into the final sector, the temptation is always to squeeze every last tenth out of the car. But if there's a comfortable gap between ahead and behind, the right move is usually the opposite, to dial it back a little bit, which I did not do. You could see I made some mistakes, but but generally just to bring it home safely. And coming into the final turn here, or the final couple of turns, got a little wide right there. Again, right here, I almost caught these guys. If they had been just a little more racy, I would have had a shot at them, but I got up right behind them, and that's the end of the race right there, guys. And hey, it's a top 5, and I had a 0x in this race, so it was a huge safety rating gain for me, and it was actually a large gain for me in the IR as well. So overall, I've had a very successful week. So yeah, I was super happy with this race. But that is it, guys. So that was the race, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is probably one of my worst podcasts ever. Well, it's only a couple, but but I wanted to share a race with you so you could actually see a race and see what I actually do. Again, if you want to check me out on YouTube, I've got some of my older races posted there. I'm probably going to post this there as well, but I want to start posting some of my races and maybe some commentary about them, but I do plan on doing that. If you haven't checked it out, it's at Understeer411 on YouTube. You can also find me on TikTok, which I haven't posted there yet, but it'll be Understeer411 as well. And right here on Spotify, it's again Understeer411. Don't forget it. Don't forget to click the like button, the follow button on all of the things. It doesn't cost you anything to do any of that, and I'm not asking for anything but a follow. So I appreciate you guys showing up for what I'm doing here, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys later. And don't forget Discord. I'm on Discord too, Understeer411. So I will see you guys there. Shoot me a line if you got questions. I'll try to answer them. Like I said, not a pro here, just a guy that enjoys sim racing. So anyway, guys, got to go because I got to go to work tomorrow. And I will see you guys at the next one.